Hey there friends, it's Elizabeth here from the Everyday Storyteller, and I am back with another fountain pen video. So as you can see, I have some new inks to test out, and then I also have a new fountain pen to unbox. This is the Pilot Vanishing Point Decimo, which I've already actually unboxed, which is why it was in there backwards. But, zoom in here. Right, so I believe the color that I got it in is champagne. Let's see if it will. Here we go. All right, so it's really, really pretty, really stylish. I decided to get the Decimo Vanishing Point instead of the regular Vanishing Point because it's slightly smaller. And I feel like it would fit my hand better. This is what it looks like. I'm definitely going to be putting in one of my new inks into this pen, I believe. And so that's what we're going to do next. All right, so I got the new Ferris wheel press New York ink sampler. So it's 3 inks in their New York collection: Grand Central, Skies, Lights on Broadway, and Central Park Green. Not sure yet which one I'm going to add into my pen, or if I'm going to add these inks into that particular pen, but I will be using these inks this month for the month of March. So let's get swatching. Right, so this was my last ink swatch, the Jacques Helbing. I'm going to turn to the next page. Let's see here. So for the month of February, I actually have 3 pens already inked up. I have my Lamy Safari, and this has Ferris wheel press Peter Moss green in this one. I have Velvet Ballet in my TWSBI Rose Gold, and then I ended up having to switch. And then I actually ended up having to switch the ink in my TWSBI Mint Blue. I originally had the Ferris wheel press Lady Rose, but it was super dry and it was irritating and I couldn't get it to work properly. So I ended up switching it out with, what did I switch this out with? Let me check. I believe it was, yes, the Robert Oster Rose Gold Antiqua. And that has been working so much better in this pen, and it's still pink, so it still fits my color scheme for February. So yeah, that is what I currently have inked up in my pens. Put that over there. And then I will use my Traveler's Cafe pencil board to prevent any ink from going through. So here's my ink, and here's the ink we'll be swatching. This is the first time that I've gotten a Ferris wheel press sampler. All the other ones that I've gotten were just samplers from like the stores. So this is really fun. I love Ferris wheel press branding and like the way that they package all of their stuff. These are adorable. They look like little potion vials. So this one is, I believe, Lights on Broadway. Yes, Lights on Broadway. And I believe all of these are shimmer inks. So I think I'm going to start with this one. Can't really tell if it's shimmering, but I'm going to give it a shake anyway. Let's see here. I don't know that this one is actually shimmering. All right, I'm just going to take a tiny wee sample. I'm really afraid of tipping these over, so I'm going to go ahead and cap them. All right, so that is Ferris wheel press, lights on Broadway. So it's this really pretty purplish pink color. I would say it leans more purple in real life, but that is the first one, lights on Broadway. All right, so the next one we're going to try is, what is this called? Grand Central Sparkling Skies. No, Grand Central Skies, and it's a sparkling ink. There we go. Okay, so you can definitely tell it is a shimmer ink. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, definitely tell it's sparkly. So we're gonna try swatching this one. All right, so just like last time, I'm gonna take a tiny, ooh, that was a little bit more than I wanted to get. That's all right. All right, so it's not quite dry yet. You can definitely tell there's some silver shimmer in here. And you can especially tell this because I use some regular cardstock because I'd put so much ink right here and I didn't want to waste it. But look at that sparkle. Yeah, definitely going to have to find a way to use this cardstock that I put the ink on for something because this is gorgeous. And I love it. All right, so while we're waiting for that one to dry, I'm actually going to fill up my new pen. So as I said before, this is the Pilot Vanishing Point Decimo in Champagne. And I think that I'm going to fill it with this Ferris Wheel Press Central Park Green ink. I'm going with a green and gold ink color scheme for March. So since we're almost at the end of February, I'm just going to fill this up with a green color and we'll see how that works in this pen. I'm a little bit nervous. I don't think this one is a shimmer ink. So hopefully that will help it in the Pilot Vanishing Point, but we will see how that works. So I'm going to figure out how to load this up with ink and we'll get back to that. The Pilot Vanishing Point Decimo came with directions, which is great because when you read the directions, you figure out how to fill this up with ink. So I was really dumb, and when I read the listing on Pen Chalet's website, I did not realize that it already came with a converter. So I actually bought an extra converter. So now I have an extra Pilot converter, but it does actually already come with one, as well as this as well. This is just the regular Pilot ink that it comes with. I'm not using that because I want to experiment with all my fountain pen colors, but you obviously totally can. So my understanding is that you just insert the entire thing into the ink vial and then it becomes just like a regular piston filled ink bottle. So I put that away because I don't want to ruin it. And then have my little workspace. We're going to try this. Again, this is Central Park Green. And it's a good thing that I put my paper towel there because I would have made a mess again. As you can see, I already have some on my hands. So let's try this again. All right, I feel like that's the best. We're going to fill it. Yeah, I can kind of see it popping out. So these have little tiny balls inside this converter. I have no idea why, but there are little tiny balls inside the converter. So I'm just gonna clean this a teeny bit. Yeah, and then put it back together. All right, so it does have this little divot that you insert it into, and you can tell when it's actually where it's supposed to go. So that's really fun. And then I'm gonna put this back on. And there we go. Here is our Pilot Vanishing Point Decimo in extra fine, filled up with Central Park green from Ferris Wheel Press. So from what I looked at in the Ferris Wheel Press Instagram account when they were hyping this particular ink collection up, this was inspired by the ceilings of Grand Central Station, and it definitely does mimic the color that you see in Grand Central Station. So that's really fun. And it has this beautiful silver shimmer. Yeah, so it's really pretty. Definitely does bleed through to the other side. I believe that's probably because there's just so much ink that I added onto this particular sample. Lights on Broadway, you can kind of see it through the Tomoe River paper, but it's not bad. This one definitely bled through. But as I said, I added a huge ink sample to that one, so we're gonna give it a pass. All right, so now we're going to try Central Park Green. And I have shaken all the previous little samples in this set from Ferris Wheel Press, but I would not recommend that because I shook this one and ink came out and got all over my fingers and all over my desk. So definitely wouldn't really recommend these bottles for shaking. But this one is not a shimmer or special ink, I don't believe. So we're gonna try to get a little bit less. All right. Again, just capping that up. And then, oh yeah, it's a pretty green. I'm glad I put that in my new Pilot pen. I'm also going to swatch it here in just regular cardstock, just because I think that'll be fun. I kind of have an idea for a pocket page card that incorporates some fountain pen ink, so that will be fun. All right, so we're gonna wait for that one to dry, and while we do that, I'm gonna test out this new pen. So this is, hopefully this works, Ferris Wheel Press in Central Park Green. So I got mine in an extra fine. So I have this pen in an extra fine, which I think I might not actually like as much as I think I do. But that is what this pen nib is in. They do sell the pen nibs separately for the Pilot Vanishing Point, so that could be something that I try out in the future. But for right now, this is an extra fine. So Ferris Wheel Press, Central Park Green. It's definitely reading more of a springy green, I feel like, than say the Peter Moss. This is kind of a lighter green with a little bit of yellow. And this is in the Pilot Vanishing Point Decimo in extra fine. So there's that. And then the swatch is almost dry. You can see it shades a little bit yellow, I would say. And it's a really, really pretty spring green. So yeah, definitely love the New York Ferris wheel press collection. And these are actually really good size samples, which I'm really impressed by. Yeah, so I would say that these vials are pretty much completely full when you get them, which I don't know how much these are, but they look like at least 5 milliliter bottles. They probably say somewhere. Yeah, 5 milliliter vials. So you get a good amount of ink. Yeah, this is really pretty, and I'm excited to start using these in some of my pens in March. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day. Bye.